Is she the biggest draw in women's tennis right now?
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, like, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, the Doha, like, crowds were insane for her last week.
Yeah.
Correct.
She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be like a little jealousy maybe from some of the women. That girl's coming in, she's not top 10, biggest star in the world.
Sam Querrey is making waves right now, and when someone with his credentials speaks up, the tennis community pays attention. This isn't just another commentator tossing out hot takes from behind a screen. Querrey competed at the elite level of professional tennis for years. He knows the sport inside and out. He understands what it takes to survive and thrive on the tour, and he's witnessed genuine star quality up close throughout his career. Right now, Querrey is zeroing in on one player exclusively. He's pointing directly at Alex Eala, and he's stating without a shred of doubt that she has become the absolute biggest draw heading into the next wave of WTA tournaments. Not among the top draws, not one of several major attractions, but the single most compelling figure in the game right now, period. Querrey isn't being subtle about this either. He's not burying this opinion in a footnote or hedging his words with careful qualifications. He's going public with it, laying it out boldly for the entire tennis world to see, and challenging anyone who disagrees to step forward. He's announcing that Eala has achieved a level of appeal and magnetism that places her ahead of everyone else when it comes to the buzz and anticipation she creates every time she enters the arena. And if that declaration wasn't provocative enough on its own, Querrey and the circle of analysts supporting this position are pushing even harder. They're claiming that Eala is tracking toward eclipsing even Aryna Sabalenka in terms of pure fan attraction. Consider the weight of that statement for a second. Sabalenka holds the #1 ranking in the world. She's claimed multiple major championships. She's one of the most powerful and famous competitors in the sport today. Yet these experts are surveying the current landscape and arriving at the conclusion that when it comes to packing venues, creating that unmistakable energy, and making audiences feel like missing her match would be unthinkable, Alex Eala is already operating on a different plane.
If she wins a slam, it would be like one of the biggest things in the world.
Yeah, correct.
She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be like a little jealousy maybe from some of the girls.
Querrey's position isn't rooted in speculation or empty hype. It's grounded in what's actually unfolding at tournaments in real time. The evidence is clear and undeniable. The attendance figures speak for themselves. When Alex Eala's name appears on the schedule, the atmosphere transforms immediately. People who weren't planning to show up suddenly scramble for entry. Fans who already secured passes start hyping the match well before it begins. Spectators fly in from incredible distances, crossing oceans and continents, simply to be present when this young woman from the Philippines takes the court. The level of fascination she generates isn't something you can fake or engineer through clever marketing. It's organic and undeniable. Querrey is stating outright that none of the highest-ranked competitors on the tour currently, including the reigning world #1, are producing that kind of gravitational pull in quite the same way. He even floated the idea that certain top 10 players, including Sabalenka, might be watching the phenomenon surrounding Eala and processing it with complicated feelings. He's talking about athletes who've dedicated their entire existence to climbing to the summit of this sport, women who've captured the most prestigious trophies available, and he's suggesting that the tidal wave of attention trailing Eala everywhere she goes might be registering with them in ways they can't completely dismiss. That's a bold claim to make publicly, and Querrey made it anyway because that's the honest picture of what's happening in tennis right now.
Is she the biggest draw in women's tennis right now?
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, like, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, the Doha, like, crowds were insane for her last week.
The wider circle of analysts involved in this discussion are taking the conversation even deeper when it comes to Eala's potential achievements this season. They're throwing their complete support behind her following her explosive climb up the rankings. They're arguing that if Alex Eala captures a Grand Slam title in 2025, it would represent the most significant moment in professional tennis in ages, not just for the Philippines, not just for Asian tennis, but for the global sport as a whole. They're predicting it would be remembered for decades to come, the kind of defining achievement that reshapes storylines and sparks an entirely new wave of fans who look back and say, that's the moment everything shifted. That's an enormous prediction to make. The fact that credible voices in tennis are willing to say it out loud reveals just how seriously people are viewing Eala's ceiling right now. Here's where things get even more fascinating, because it's not only the commentators and experts fueling this narrative, the players themselves are weighing in. Jessica Pegula, one of the elite competitors on the WTA Tour with extensive experience at the highest level, shared her first-hand account of facing Eala at the Miami Open last year. What she described was striking. Pegula said she walked into that match genuinely shocked by what she encountered. She hadn't anticipated it. She wasn't mentally ready for the scene that greeted her inside that stadium. The atmosphere was charged. The crowd was massive, fervent, deafening, and utterly focused on every exchange. Pegula called it insane, and she meant that as the highest compliment possible. She wasn't criticizing the experience. She was awestruck by it. She was standing in the middle of that energy and realizing she was witnessing something truly rare. Pegula was very deliberate in her follow-up comments. She emphasized that whether the setting was Miami, the Australian Open, or Dubai, Alex Eala has consistently commanded the largest and most passionate crowd support of any player across the entire tour. Fans appear for her in volumes that no other competitor is matching right now. They make journeys specifically to see her. They stand in queues that far exceed anything a typical match would generate, all for the opportunity to sit in that venue and watch her compete. That type of magnetism is exceptionally uncommon. That kind of profound, authentic, emotionally charged bond between an athlete and a fan base is something tennis has been trying to cultivate in emerging markets for years. And here's Alex Eala already delivering it without any forced promotional push behind it, purely through the strength of her game, her presence, and the compelling nature of her journey.
She, has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour. They all come out to support her, and so I think we saw that in Australia when it was kind of overcrowded. They put her on too small of a...
Then Novak Djokovic entered the conversation and elevated everything that had already been said. A player with more major titles than anyone in tennis history. Someone who's experienced professional tennis at every conceivable level for more than 20 years. Djokovic stepped forward and declared Alex Eala the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced. He said she deserves every ounce of respect and acknowledgement the sport can provide. He also addressed the way her scheduling and court placements have been handled at certain tournaments, making it clear he believes the treatment she's received hasn't always reflected her actual stature and appeal. When Djokovic makes a statement like that, the entire tennis world listens closely. This is no longer just passionate fans voicing opinions. This is the greatest player of all time standing up and asserting that Alex Eala deserves more and that the sport needs to recognize her accordingly.
Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule them on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So
the analysts are now synthesizing all these elements and reaching one unified conclusion. In terms of pure fan attraction, in terms of the absolute number of spectators Alex Eala brings in from every part of the world, she's performing at a level that even Aryna Sabalenka hasn't reached. No one is discounting what Sabalenka has achieved on the court. She's a champion at the highest tier, but the analysts are making a distinction between claiming titles and possessing the kind of cultural and commercial influence that reshapes a sport and brings in completely new audiences. On that particular metric, they're saying Alex Eala is in a category by herself right now. Sam Querrey initiated this conversation, but it's expanded far beyond his individual perspective. The players are confirming it, the legends are endorsing it, the experts are repeating it, and the crowds flooding in wherever Alex Eala competes are shouting it louder than anyone, the biggest draw in tennis. That's what she's become. and everything unfolding around her right now indicates that this is just the start.